The only pathway that appears before the perceptive intelligence that makes up this form is to embody the archetypical yogic form. Allow this body to be peaceful, balanced in its biological form. Allow the mind, the prism through which words are crafted, all this is formulating itself. Allow that to be attuned to the intelligence of Ik Oankar. And the formulation of that comes into the heart. And you have to understand, this is holistic. This isn't an intellectual. You have to embody that. And you have to continually monitor this because evolution in itself is changing extremely rapidly right now. And the evolution of, well, the way I put it to myself is you have to adapt. And that doesn't mean you have to change your mind so much. It means you have to remove a lot of these old programs that are no longer, neither not serving us, nor are they, they're taking up too much space in the collective consciousness here. So that's what this is about, is kind of like spring cleaning, let's, the conditioned mind, the one that's talking to you right now, this has language patterns, all this stuff set up in vector analysis, that whole thing talking to you, is learned experience, conditioned through my own childhood growing up. And all the emotional things that go along with that conditioning are all subliminally attached to that creates the balances in my serotonin, dopamine balance. That it creates that neurotransmitter balance on a subliminal level. And you have to take the time to examine those triggers because you're going to find what makes you happy. I would hope. I would hope that would, if any prayer I would have of anyone starting on this path, or anywhere on this situational path, do what makes you happy. Find what makes you happy. What releases those neurotransmitters, those biochemical that allows you to be happy, and then go beyond happiness. How about ecstatic? Is that too much to ask for? Occasionally ecstasy? I mean, where does that balance? And how would you, if that was possible, how would that feel, right? Because it has to be felt. Otherwise it's just a nice thought and cool. How can you imagine that would feel? And I'm not talking about drugs here. I'm talking about your own psychological, biological matrix that you've taken the time to pay attention to. Well, always, again, the default is centering the breath, allowing that breath, heart rate to balance itself out. Central mantra, gru, 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 gru. They're pumping at different rates, at different intervals, but a basic metronome. It kind of runs in a gyroscopic type model here. It holds the image, this presentation steady, and it also allows a stable platform to self-observe. And that's really what this is all about, is creating that. And you've got to approach it from a lot of different angles. The biological is one, of course. And they all have to be kind of approached at once. This is like one of those things where you've got to get it from all sides. And how do you do that without becoming, schizophrenic, right? So, but that's what this is about. You've got to find the balance in all the vectors, psychological, biological, biochemical, neurological. You have to do all of those forms kind of at once. You've got to find ways of talking to yourself or letting the universe talk to you, and you start listening carefully. So this is where I find myself in the process of actually starting to listen carefully, not only to myself, but to everything. And there are the subtle currents of signs. You might think, well, that's an omen. No, but it's more just like, oh, that's how that works. Oh, I see. As I start to see reality unfold now, and I'm just a servant here. Ik oankar to that. So, but these are some observations of a servant to that light. That's all.